Jan has the art of coaching, and that's a whole different ball game. And X's and O's are easy, but to really develop the art of coaching is something that Jan really, really was amazing at.
Being a coach is the true essence of a leadership, influencing human behavior, bringing everyone together for a common cause, delegating responsibility, taking ownership of your program, and working for a purpose. A quote like that, she was the complete coach, the complete administrator.
Jan Hathorn has always been more than a coach. She's absolutely a teacher, and that's one of the things I respect about Jan the most. She coached the whole person, so she was concerned about what classes they were taking. She got involved in knowing what the students were doing off the field as well as on the field.
She's been the biggest advocate for lacrosse that I'm known of. Since I've been in the lacrosse world, I coached college lacrosse for a couple years as well, and even going there, still, Jan Hathorn, people knew who she was. And it was something to know that she has dedicated her life to women's sports and athletics.
She was always like the cream of the crop, period. It didn't matter what division, it didn't matter in what setting. And I think to have Jan be recognized in the IWLCA Hall of Fame is just so well deserved. And I think every single person that's coached women's lacrosse or is still coaching knows Jan and knows the impact that she's had.
She was always working for the IWLCA. She was the Division III rep. She went on to be on committees. She went on to advocate and be involved in women's lacrosse being in the Olympics. So way bigger picture than just sitting in her office and getting trophies on her desk.
She made such an impact on W&L and Denison, women's sports and women's athletics in general. I think she's one of those, that second wave of your forerunners for women's athletics.
I think the thing I wanted to happen was for women to have the kind of experience that I had. I had a fantastic collegiate playing career, and I couldn't be more grateful to the women that were on the basketball team at the time that taught me how to play lacrosse, so that I ended up playing lacrosse for 4 years. And that was an experience that just affirmed for me that this place in my heart that I always wanted to be a coach was the right thing for me to do. And I was so fortunate. I have worked at two outstanding institutions where the women I was working with were just so eager and wanted to be good, and also wanted to have fun and wanted it to be an experience that would, I don't know if they would have used the word transformative, but they were looking for something that would fill their souls.
One of my most memorable experiences of Jan is when I was coaching against her. And I was coaching at another ODAC university that was pretty weak. And the thing that impressed me most about Jan Hathorn was her integrity in winning. We're taught to lose well, but I think it's more important to win well. And Jan won really well, and she made sure that the team that she was competing felt important and validated, and that just because you were losing by a lot didn't make you a lesser person or team or coach.
Sherry Krasno, who's my assistant coach now, we're co-coaches really, but we both came through Jan. And what would be the chances, 25, 30 years later, Sherry and I would be together coaching, right? And that's because of Jan.
A very wise dear friend of mine said to me early on in my career that one of the most loving things you can ever do for someone is to have a high expectation of them, because it means that you see their potential and you know that they're capable. I had the incredible privilege of starting the program for lacrosse at W&L, and just knowing all the history of the success of the men's team here and the kind of women that were in those first few classes, there was no doubt in my mind we could do this. There was no doubt, and that we could be good. And come hell or high water, we were going to be good because that's partly what I wanted us to do. They saw and heard what the expectations were, and they plugged in. And so to their credit, they decided that this was something they could do and they wanted to do, and they achieved it. When you see that happen and you see the realization on the faces of the women that are experiencing it, there's nothing sweeter.
Jan is just such a genuine, caring person, especially as another female coach. She's amazing. And, there's not much more I can say than that, because she's just truly amazing.
Jan, you deserve it. You are by far the most deserving person for this award that I believe in women's lacrosse. You've had such an impact on our lives as well as the WNL community. So thank you, Jan.
Thank you for taking me in under your wing in those first years of coaching lacrosse here at WNL. I so enjoyed our time on the field, both in field hockey and in lacrosse. So thanks for all that you've done for me and countless other young women and young coaches.
Your encouragement and constant motivation pushed me to heights I never thought possible. Thank you for inspiring me to be excellent in everything I do.
I'm not one who necessarily marks along the way all the things I've done. You know, when moments like these happen, and they don't happen often, so first of all, it's amazing, and I'm so humbled by it that you look back and you're like, well, I guess I did do all that. It's just been really cool to go back over it and to be reminded of all the people, and I couldn't be more thankful for the fact that I was successful there. I had someone who was a mentor to me, my senior year college coach, who said, hey, there's this job at Denison. I applied, I get it. Here I am there for 4.5 years. Next thing I know, I'm here starting this program and obviously never left. And there's just so many people to thank for helping me get to this moment. It's an emotional thing. I'm very proud.